Welcome to Pyrion Flax's guide to laning with terrible players. I realise that to some people the idea of Pyrion Flax talking about playing with worse players than himself is ludicrous. It's like a hamster laughing at a mouse for running around in a wheel that goes nowhere while the hamster himself does the same. But honestly, there are worse players than me out there, and it turns out there's lots of them. I realise this may come as a surprise, but I see players all the time that do things even I can see as being just terrible, terrible things. And it gives me a teeny tiny little look into the mind of the players that are better than me. Here's the thing. The curse of Dota 2 is that the better you get at it, the more agonizing it becomes to play with bad players. And I'm very slightly getting better, very slightly. And now, trust me, the things that I see now make me cry real tears, real actual tears. And the laning phase is usually where the real tears begin. I now understand how painful it is to lane with a terrible player. And this is coming from someone who cannot last hit, deny, harass, stack and pull, or play mid at all. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from. I realise it's rich, perhaps even bold, but I'm compelled. So, laning with someone terrible. It makes your game not only unfun, but actually physically painful. You may notice some of your organs beginning to ache, like your liver and your heart and your balls or tits, depending on which you possess. I am firmly in the idiot club, so trust me, I know all this stuff is real. I used to do almost all of this, and I still do sometimes, but thanks to the 12-step Dota recovery program, I am taking one day at a time and working towards a cure. Here's a list of terrible things that terrible idiots do. Number 1. They auto-attack like crazy. The new player has no concept of lane control and doesn't even really understand why it's important once they do understand not to do it. They just get told don't do that and they go okay, but they don't really know. All they see is some creeps appear, as if by magic creeps run along a bit, they fight some other creeps, and this carries on endlessly until the game is over. So you hit the creeps. That's how you win the game. Hitting and killing things is how you win the game. And if you hit the creeps more, they die quicker, which means you get gold sooner. Win-win. Hands up who has been in a pub game and had a teammate that's been auto-attacking like crazy, pushing the lane like mad, and they just refuse to stop, and when you beg them, please stop pushing the lane, they say, shut the fuck up and play, or shh, stop telling me what to do. I mean, is there anything more maddening than seeing someone do something wrong and just fail to acknowledge it? Like, if you say, oh, I'm really sorry, I just don't know what I'm doing, I'll listen to you, fair enough. But when they're just like, excuse me, I'm trying to play my stupid, terrible game here, you just carry on. But your terrible, stupid game is making my game terrible and stupid! You want to stuff them in a box and bury them in the desert somewhere where nobody will ever find the body, and they will not be missed. Point 2. They body block you endlessly. This is especially true when you're stuck laning with another melee hero. You both sort of want to do the same things in the same place, but he has no right to even be there. He shouldn't be taking farm from you, and because the new player is hopeless at keeping track of what's going on, he'll just stand still while tanking the creep wave, or he'll stand right behind you, so you turn left, he turns left, you turn right, he turns right, you try to turn back, he'll go forward, you half expect to find out you've been laning with a fucking mirror. And the most miraculous thing is, they couldn't block the creep wave if their life depended on it. You want to slam them up against a wall like a dirty cop and stick a gun in their mouth and say, get the fuck out of my way, Mendoza, or I'll send you to the big house. Feed endlessly. Like some kind of deranged Frenchman trying to make foie gras, the baddie will just feed over and over and over. He doesn't know how enemy spells work. So, for instance, Bloodseeker's Rupture spell is a guaranteed kill. It still catches me out from time to time, but early on I would just run like crazy, assuming that was the right thing to do. It's like someone throwing bucket after bucket of water on an electrical fire. Or maybe throwing like bucket after bucket of oil on an oil fire. Or bucket after bucket of fire onto a fire. And the worse they feed, the worse they will feed. Because once your opponent gets a couple of levels on you, suddenly their spells make you as weak as a tiny helpless little kitten whose skull just got stoved in by a fucking shovel and whose furry carcass is now adorning the face of a bloodthirsty Dota 2 veteran like those dudes in Vietnam who wore a necklace made of ears. You'll want to brand them with a red-hot iron right in the inside of their eyelids. Never play Dota 2 again. You will roar a terrible roar, and you will gnash your terrible teeth, and you will roll your terrible eyes, and you will show your terrible claws, but it won't make a difference. You are Cassandra, doomed forever to announce GG after 10 minutes, and suffer the idiocy of people announcing GG, it's only been 10 minutes, just play please, as you witness all 3 of your lanes getting buried. Your mid still has yet to get boots, hasn't served up a single gank, and your anti-mage is buying all the wrong items, while all your other 3 carries are jungling. That's what happens. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. Ignorance is bliss. I advise you to be one of the idiots. You can play with all the other idiots and have a great time. And when you lose, you'll just wonder, wow, it obviously wasn't our day. Things just didn't come together. And you never have to acknowledge that your own terrible actions have had an outcome on the game. So yeah, that's laning with terrible players. If you like this shitty video, please subscribe to my fucking channel. Thank you.